Hello everybody, I'm about to tell you how you can pass your driving test first time. If it's not your first test, then I'm going to tell you how to pass your driving test. Because let's face it, everybody that goes to the test centre, they've kind of had conversations with their instructor. Their instructor has said, well, you're safe, you're competent, you have the ability, you should go and take your test now. But not everybody passes, do they? So what we've got is we've got these 5 strategies, 5 different ways that you can make sure that you pass your driving test. Now, the number 1 strategy is the best piece of advice you're ever going to get in terms of passing your driving test. The very, very best piece of advice. Number 3, by the way, is quite controversial. So let's hope no one picks up on it, eh? Anyway, there you go. So now, first of all, you have to be safe and competent. So we're going to assume that you've had conversations with your instructor, okay, and you've agreed between you that you're ready for your driving test. So what are the 5 strategies? First of all, number 1 strategy, practice. Practice, practice. You must practice. Get out with your mum and dad, get out with your brother, your sister, whoever it is that's helping you get through your test. Get out driving as much as you can. Challenge yourself. Drive off to Skeggy for the day. You know, have a cup of tea, get some chips, sit on the beach and drive back. Just challenge yourself. You know, get as much practice as you can. I've left some links in the description down under the video, down there somewhere. I've left some links so that might be useful to you, but just have a look at them. But practice, do please practice, because the more practice you get, the more perfect you'll be. Okay, so that's strategy number 1. That's an obvious one though, isn't it? Number 2 is the examiner. What I see quite a lot is what I hear from people is they'll say, oh, I hope I don't get this examiner, or I hope I don't get that examiner, or that one's supposed to be a bit nasty, or that one talks too much. You know, the examiner, please don't make the examiner your enemy. They're not your enemy. They're just people doing their job. That's all they are. They're just there to see if you are safe and you are competent. And if you drive to that standard, to the standard that they are looking for over that kind of 40-minute period, 40-ish minute period, then you pass. As simple as that. They don't pass you. They don't fail you. You do that. You do that for yourself. You know. So don't make the examiner your enemy. They certainly don't see themselves in that way. They're professional, honest, decent people, just doing their job. You know, they don't come out with one big eye in the middle of their forehead or big cauliflower ears. They're not monsters. They're just people doing their job. They would want you to pass. If you ask them and they were being honest, they would say, well, I want them to pass actually. So, you know, don't make the examiner your enemy, because they're not. They're really not. They're just doing their job. That's number 2. That's strategy number 2. Quite important, because lots of people build the examiners up in their minds to be these people that they're just not. They're just normal, ordinary people. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, fairly controversial. Learn the test routes. Do you know, it's an obvious thing, isn't it? Learn the test routes. Just learn them. You know, it's controversial because when we train driving instructors, we tell them, don't teach people just the test routes. Teach them how to drive for life. Teach them a life skill. Well, what instructors sometimes hear is they miss the just out of that, and it ends up being, don't teach people test routes. Teach them a skill for life, a safe driving for life. But you have to learn the test routes. At least you have to know the test routes. You have to know the test areas. Because look at it this way. Every test you've ever took, you've done revision, hopefully. You've done revision. You've looked at past test papers, haven't you? Well, knowing the test routes is like a past test paper. People will have been on those tests before. So now it's your turn. So learn the test routes. There'll be junctions and there'll be kind of roundabouts, no matter where you're taking your test. There'll be junctions and roundabouts where they're a bit odd. They're not box standard, and you have to know your way around them. You have to know what lane to be in, and things like that. There, so learn the test routes. Just learn them. It is quite controversial, and I'm sure people will say, "Oh, yeah, you shouldn't do that." Take it from me. If your driving instructor doesn't show you where the test area is at least, or he doesn't say, "Oh, I don't know what the test routes are," find another one. Find one that will. Find one that will help you get through your test. If you pass your test, whether you know the test routes or not, you'll be driving up to the standard, won't you? Learn the test routes. Get out there and get it done. That's the third one. So strategy number 2 is just to play the game. Don't play the occasion. If you're a sports person or anything like that, you get to like a final of something, you get in the semi-finals, and then you get to the final, and all that, it becomes a bit overwhelming, and you think, oh no, I hope I pass, I hope I get through, I hope I win this game. And the person that very often wins is the one that plays the game, doesn't play the occasion, doesn't get overwhelmed by the occasion, just plays the game. And what I mean by that is just do your job. Your job is just to drive the car. You're good enough. Your instructor has said that you're good enough. You know in yourself that you're good enough as well. So just drive the car. Just drive the car. Just do your job. Just play your bit of the game. Let the result take care of itself. And if you do that, if you have that kind of mindset, I'm just going to drive the car. That's all I need to do. Done it a million times. Well, hundreds of times. You've done it anyway, many, many times. Just do that. It's very, very easy. Okay. Strategy number 1, the best piece of advice, the very, very top best piece of advice you can get when taking your driving test is very simple. Your instructor has said it to you 1,000 times, and that is plan ahead. Plan ahead. Look at what's in front of you on the road and deal with that. Deal with what's ahead of you. Put your mind 6 seconds ahead of the car. Be one step ahead of yourself all the time, so there's no surprises. Look ahead, plan ahead, deal with what's there. Deal with what's ahead of you, and then when you've dealt with that, deal with the next thing that's ahead of you. And when you've dealt with that, deal with the next thing that's ahead of you. And so on and so on and so on. Until you get to the end of the test, you just keep dealing with what's ahead of you. The test will be over before you know it. And guess what? You will have passed. Because if you deal with what's ahead of you correctly and properly, then you pass your driving test. Absolutely as simple as that. That's all you need to do. Just deal with what's in front of the car. That's the best piece of advice you can have. So your examiner, not your examiner, your instructor has said to you, yeah, do you know what? You're ready for your test. Let's go and take it. So what you do is you practice. You make sure that you get enough practice. You get out with people. You say to people, oh, please come on, take me out. Begs, beg them, say, oh, go on, take me out, take me out. So you practice. You get as much practice as you can, okay? As much as you can. And then you think about the examiner and you think, right, well, okay, examiner's just a person. It's just a person, just like me and like you. It's no different from that, he or she, no different from that. Just a person, just doing their job. They're actually quite nice. I mean, in the areas where I teach, they are actually quite nice people. So just don't make the examiner into this kind of real monster person, because he's not a monster. He's just doing his job. That's all he is. So think about that as well. This is really, really important. I see people in test centres and they're terrified. They're in the waiting room. They're terrified. You can see that they're going to fail because the whole thing is overwhelming them. And you hear the examiner opening the door to come into the waiting room. And again, they look even more terrified then. So don't be like that. The examiner's just a person. They want you to pass. Just drive the car. Okay. Third, you're going to make sure that you know the test routes or know the test area anyway. You're familiar with the roads. Don't make it difficult for yourself. Go in a place where you're familiar. Okay, so, and if you're not familiar with that area, if you're not from there, go to there, go to where the test areas is, get your instructor to take you around, get him to show you where the difficult junctions are and that. Make sure that you know you can navigate your way through them. Really, really important. Okay, and if you won't do that, you know, please, you know, just ask you to say, please take me there, because, you know, I'm going to need to know. And if he still refuses, get rid of him, get someone that will take you there. Okay, so, you know, and the fourth one is just play the game, just play your bit, play the game, not the occasion. That's what all sports people are told when they get to a final. Play the game, do your bit, do your job, let the occasion take care of itself. Okay, and the fourth one, sorry, that's not the fourth one, the number one piece of advice is plan ahead. Always plan ahead, always look ahead, always just deal with what's in front of you, and then deal with the next thing that's in front of you, and the next thing, and the next thing, and just keep doing that until the test is completely finished and you've stopped and you're back in the car park or on the road where the test centre is, and you're back there and your examiner says, "Congratulations, Mr. X, you have passed." That's just the nicest feeling in the world. So please, just adopt these 5 strategies, and I promise you, if you do them right, pass.